A common question when it comes to personal finances is whether or not you should pay off your debt early. A quick search on YouTube is going to show that you get all of these results if you put the information in the search bar. For some people, that is definitely the right course of action. For others, that's not necessarily true because they could potentially be missing out on a lot of money by not investing the difference instead. In my opinion, I find that I am one of those people for whom investing the difference works out much better. Stay tuned because I am going to give you all of the details in the video. I'm going to show you how I reach my conclusions by giving you the numbers, both for the balances, the interest rates, and the terms of the loan. Before that, here's a little bit about me.
Hi, welcome to my channel. Here's a little bit about me. My household consists of myself, my husband, and my toddler. My mom also lives with us, but her finances are not included in ours. We live in a high cost of living area in the Northeast. Both my husband and I went to graduate school, but fortunately, we no longer carry student loan debt. I work in banking and he works in aviation. I take care of all of the family's finances, and I love my role as the self appointed CFO. I enjoy talking about all things money, and I look forward to sharing a wealth building journey with you. I hope you enjoy this video.
I put the spreadsheet together so I could give you the breakdown on the 3 loans that we have that add up to this amount, $686,000. Now, to be clear, these are evidently mortgages. They are not consumer loans of any sort. At the time that I'm making this video, we do not have any consumer loans. Our credit cards are paid in full every month, and we paid off our student loans years ago. This is all mortgages, no consumer debt. So we're talking really low interest rates here. To give you a little bit of background information about how we ended up with those particular loans in these particular properties, I want to start off by saying that I am not an aspiring landlord. I used to be, but not anymore. There was a time that I thought I wanted to just collect property and get rent. I never deluded myself into thinking it was passive income because you do have to maintain property and you do have to deal with tenants. But I did think it would be a good way to build wealth. However, after being able to witness everything that has happened with the eviction moratorium, that has completely turned me off of the idea of being a landlord. So now it's more about just maintaining what I already have. I have zero interest in adding to them. So here you can see that I have the balances that we owe on these properties and then the respective interest rates. So here's how those came about. The one that is labeled here as rental 1 is a property that I purchased to be my primary residence when I was in my 20s. I acquired it because I wanted to have my own space and I was living at home with family, which allowed me to save a good chunk of money to put down towards the property. When I got married, my husband wanted to buy a house and we decided to do that. However, since we were able to qualify for the new house without having to sell the first one, I decided that it would be better to keep it. And then the second rental is a property that we purchased with my father. He was still working at the time, and we thought that would be a way for us to invest some additional money that he had and he didn't really know what to do with. And maybe it was something that was going to give us income until he retired. And then when he retired, perhaps he could either live in it or do whatever. But the point was, that's a property that we got with him. He ended up passing away and I decided to keep it. Didn't do anything else with it. We kept it. And evidently the other one is our primary residence. Now, as you can see, the balance for the primary residence is the largest one because evidently that's the one we live in. It's nicer. The interest rate for that is an interest rate that we refinance to. We initially purchased it was 3.75%. We refinanced and it became 2.63%. This one we have never refinanced this loan. It is 3.575% now. It is the same amount that it was when I purchased it. And finally the third property on the list is also a product of a refinance, and we initially got a rate of 4.25 for this property for 20 years, and we ended up being able to refinance it for 15 years at 2.75%. So we not only shortened the time period, we also reduced the interest rate. The combined amount for all three of these properties is $686,000. And with that said, that takes us into the first set of numbers that we have here. So this is a weighted average calculator. That means that's going to allow me to have an idea of what we pay towards interest every month, but you can't do a complete average by adding them up and dividing them by 3, because some of these loan balances are significantly higher than the others. So I thought that a weighted average calculator would be more accurate representation. The weighted average that the system came up with is 2.9149%, which I am rounding up to 2.92%. I also did something very similar for the length of time, and I ended up with a length of time of approximately 22 years. And that length of time means that coincidentally, it adds up to the time when my husband would be retiring if he does not retire early. Since there is a bit of an age difference between the two of us, that means I would still be working if also I don't retire early. I took that information and I plugged it into a debt versus invest calculator. And what I did was I put in the total balance that I owe, which is $686,000, the interest rate on the debt, which is 2.92%, the term of the debt, which is the weighted average in months of the amount of time left on all the mortgages combined. And then this amount here is a very specific amount. That is the amount that actually I just realized I made a mistake, but I'm not going to restart the video. Instead, I am going to recalculate it. So this amount is intended to be the amount that we put in to our retirement savings every month. This is maxing out the 401k for both of us and then maxing out our IRAs. But I just realized that I did this calculation based on $19,500, not accounting for the increase that they did for 2022. So that means I am going to recalculate this, and looking at my calculator here, it tells me that the new amount really is approximately $4,416, but I'll just do $4,400 to kind of keep those numbers simple. So where did I come up with that 7% rate that we earn on savings? Well, that 7% rate comes from the fact that the stock market returns, you can just do a quick Google search here. The stock market returns an average of 10% per year for nearly 100 years. But it is adjusted to 6 or 7% when accounting for inflation. Now, I am still even being conservative here because, yes, I am accounting for the fact that the 10% returns are not real returns, but I am not accounting for the fact that our interest rates are fixed over the life of the loan, and interest and inflation is also going to work in our favor. So I'm really making it so that I'm using the real return after inflation for the interest that we're going to be earning on our savings, or the investment returns that we're going to be getting on our investments, but not so much accounting for the fact that, one, a lot of this is tax deductible, and it's also um, losing its value in the face of inflation. So when I do the math and we calculate this, it shows that I would be saving $617,000 by paying off my debt early if I was shoveling all of those retirement contributions towards that. But instead, I am looking at about $850,000 on my investments. So meaning the difference in savings is going to be $233,000. I am also not even accounting for the fact that I put additional money towards my brokerage. So the answer for me is no. This is why I say that not everybody needs to be paying off their debt early. I do understand that it does offer some level of financial security, and it doesn't mean that we never will. This has more to do with the fact that I don't want to miss out on the opportunity for getting really good returns on that money. And if you're not really disciplined and you don't think that you're going to actually invest the money, then maybe you should pay off the debt, because that rate is guaranteed. I want to know what you think. Should I pay off my debt? Do big numbers like that scare you? What about you? Do you have debt that you want to pay off? What's your interest rate? Are they high enough that you want to pay it off as quickly as possible? Or are they low enough that you feel like it's okay to cruise? Let me know. I would like to continue sharing my thoughts on all things money with you. So I would appreciate it if you could help out the channel by liking this video and sharing it with anyone you think might benefit from it. If you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when new videos come out. I'll see you in the next one.